Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am the guy who picked Beneil Dariush to defeat Charles Oliveira. And I'm here to recap UFC 289's main card. I'm going to start at the top with Amanda Nunes beating Irene Aldana and then retiring. The main takeaway should be Amanda Nunes. She retired. She's the GOAT. Let's talk about her career. But this is immediately after the fight, and the one thought that's dominating my mind is that Irene Aldana underperformed. This was one of the shittier title challenges I've seen since Liz Carmouche fought Valentina Shevchenko a few years ago. Just content to lose a decision and realizing you're outgunned and not seizing the moment. This was her moment. This is the moment that every fighter dreams about. I'm sure she's dreamt about this, for the however many years. This is the World Championship, the GOAT, the main event of a pay-per-view. I mean, you could say any fight is my moment. I've been dreaming of this and whatever, and it's all metaphorical horseshit. But when it comes to the title fight, this is the moment. And she let the moment pass her by, I thought. And I know everything is easier said than done. She's getting hit in the face by Amanda Nunes and in the leg and the body as well. Really beaten up by one of the hardest strikers ever. So I understand that can be discouraging. But I've seen Irene Aldana go to war. And here, even though she realized she was outgunned early on, she should have been trying to make this a brawl, trying to give herself, from a 1% chance of winning to a 2% chance or whatever. Just increase your odds by going for it. And instead, she looked content to lose a decision. Now to Amanda Nunes. She is the GOAT. I do wish she retired on more of a fight. I'll be honest, it has left a sour taste in my mouth. I think if this was a grittier performance where she was forced to be gritty, it would be awesome. But instead, it's kind of like, whatever. But you can't fault her. And like I speculated on beforehand, she's got her own life going. I mean, you see her with her kid. I don't know if I've ever seen her in the last year without seeing her kid or hearing about her. And they got their own family going, her and Nina Nunes, and they're done. Well, she's done anyway with this grind. Nina's apparently still going to fight. It is what it is. It sucks. I really wish Juliana Pena would have gotten this fight because I know, like DC was saying, Pena will fight. Pena will not stop fighting. And even if you beat the shit out of her, it'll be a much better ass kicking for 25 minutes than what we saw here tonight. Still, Amanda Nunes rides off into the sunset. She's the GOAT. It's going to be really tough to take that title from her. Valentina was defeated by Grasso recently, and Juliana Pena, doesn't win the series. Not that she was really in the realm of winning the GOATship or whatever. And this is all, again, just theoretical horseshit. But still, a dominant victory from Amanda Nunes. She looked as good as she's ever looked, frankly. So she retires on top. Next up, Beneil Dariush and Charles Oliveira. I thought Charles Oliveira did what he's supposed to do. He's a first-round monster, and even though it looked like Beneil Dariush was taking that first round from him by stuffing his guard and, just neutralizing him on the ground, all he needed was a little action, and he found that action in the last 2 minutes, caught Beneil Dariush. I think maybe the head kick started it, but maybe not, and then either way, he rocked him with a big punch afterwards. The punch that dropped Beneil might have even been toward the back of the head or whatever, but it definitely wasn't illegal because it was in the middle of madness. And he got a big victory there. Got Beneil down and just pounced on him. Sat down heavy in the half guard where Beneil couldn't move. And Charles is so long and tall, he was just able to reach him, and he just smashed him. Great win for Charles Oliveira. Tough loss for Beneil Dariush. He loses all that momentum. All of it comes crashing down and crumbling down, whatever the fuck, in one round. And it's really shitty as a Beneil Dariush fan. But as a Charles Oliveira fan, I'm very happy with this result. He's just, both these guys are such good guys. I just want them both to win, really, which is what kind of sucked about this matchup. But Charles Oliveira moves forward. He retains his title as the deadliest all-around fighter, in my opinion. And gets another finish over an elite fighter, a first round finish again. So he's looked really good as of late, champion of the world. And you take away that Makhachev fight, it looks like he hasn't missed a step, and he's the most dangerous guy out there. Still, if he fights Makhachev, that's a pretty tall order. But anyway, Beneil Dariush, yeah, it sucks for him. He put it all on the line and didn't work out for him. I'm sure he's going to bounce back with another big high-profile fight, but this was definitely a pivotal loss for him. And now it makes 5 losses, 4 of which come by knockout or TKO. So it sucks. Mike Malott got Adam Fugit out of there. That was a beautiful victory from Malott. Malott looked really good on the feet and on the ground, and he got a victory with a club and sub. Hit him with a big left hook, I believe, and then locked up a beautiful guillotine with just one arm. He had one arm in on that guillotine the whole way. I don't know if his 2 arms ever touched, but in the end, it was just a one-arm guillotine, and he got it done. That's a really tight choke. Of course, alpha male, you have to mention it because that is their move. And he made Alpha Male proud, or Team Alpha, whatever the fuck they're called now. Great win for Mike Malott. Great night for the Canadians, by the way. I didn't mention this in the prelim video. Of course, the fights weren't done yet, but I should mention it here, as 2 Canadians got victories on the main card. They went 5-0, I believe. Excellent night for the Canadians. They really came through in a big way, and they all pretty much had really good fights. Really good fights. Finishes, wars, upsets. Great night for the Canadians. But yeah, Mike Malott, he looks really good everywhere, and I'm glad he got a second round finish here. This was really nice. Not that it was too deep into the second round, it really wasn't. But still, he showed his power was there, because that's what got the ball rolling when he dropped Adam Fugit. And he looked as deadly as he did on the Contender Series 30 seconds into that fight, or whatever it was, where he got the Shatursky guillotine. His guillotine looked deadly here, just one with one arm, 7 minutes into the fight or whatever. Great win for him. Dan Ige beat Nate the Train Landwehr. I really wanted Nate the Train to win just so I could hear him say, "Nate the Train, the UFC, baby, look at this bicep." But it was Dan Ige's night. Dan Ige was just too fundamentally sound for Nate Landwehr, where he took away the option for a brawl. Nate Landwehr's a guy that wants to reduce the fight to a brawl, get things sloppy, make you exert yourself, and take over down the stretch. Now, to be fair, he kind of did take over down the stretch, but it was too little too late. I will bring that up next time, though. You will hear me say this is another victory, for Nate Landwehr's cardio, where he was the last man standing, and it was after being rock silly by Dan Ige. Dropped on 2 occasions, but especially in the second round, he was hurt badly. But may as well talk about the knockdowns. Dan Ige, his power was there for him. It, made the difference. I do think even without the knockdowns, Ige was definitely ahead in both rounds anyway, winning the volume battle, the point battle, I should say. But the knockdowns, that's not nothing. That's a part of him as a fighter. He's got that power. I thought it could have made the difference, even produced a knockout here. But instead, it was there for him in another way. Got him some valuable points. In round 1 and round 2, it's awesome when knockdowns happen in the final 30 seconds, final minute of a round, because it just increases your chances of winning the round if it was close. But there was a fight earlier where somebody got knocked down early. Forget who it is, whatever. Oh, Marc-Andre Barrio. He won that round anyway, but it was close in the end. But Dan Ige, and I'll be talking about that fight next. Dan Ige looked awesome, though, here. And he wasn't going anywhere in round 3. Nate the Train was doing his thing, gaining momentum. And I thought winning the round, up in the volume. But Ige wasn't hurt, and he was very much in that fight. And he had already done more than enough to secure the victory. So great win for a very composed and technical Dan Ige. And a tough loss for Nate Landwehr. One, like I said, it was a clear point loss here, but still a moral victory where, again, he showed you don't want to be there in round 3 with him because he's not going anywhere and he's only getting better. Marc-Andre Barrio defeats Eric Anders. This one had some horse shit in it. Oh yeah, I wrote down Jared Vallel after the second bowl shot. I agreed with John Anik. I thought that Jared Vallel shouldn't have taken a point there, and I'm glad he didn't. And it's not because I picked Barrio to win. I did. I actually bet on Anders winning by decision too, though. But I thought it shouldn't have been a point deduction there because it was just chaos. He threw a knee and kicked him in the balls with his toes, so it's gonna happen. But still, Marc-Andre Barrio outperformed Eric Anders, in my opinion. The first 2 rounds were close. Anders, even after getting dropped early in the first round, very early, he made it a battle, smothering him and using his physicality in the clinch. I thought he was roughing Marc-Andre Barrio up and made it a battle. But I still had Barrio winning every round, and in the end, I thought it was definitely his best round, kind of like Nate Lamb, where he turned it up in round 3. And he got the victory. Very close 30-27 fight for Marc-Andre Barrio. But in the end, he won the small moments and the big moments as well with that knockdown. So solid win for that guy. He is power bar, whatever. But he does gain as the fight goes on. That's a very appropriate nickname, even though I'm not going to pretend to even have any understanding of where it comes from or what it means. Eric Anders, he didn't look bad at all here. He had a rough start, as I said, but his durability was there for him and his grit. His cardio might have failed him a little bit in the end, but that's a guy that, he's only been finished twice in his entire MMA career and only once by strikes. And if you haven't seen it, check it out. It was against Thiago Santos, and it was, I think, a technical murder, even though he's still living. But yeah, that was a very good battle. I believe that won the fight of the night, and it probably should have. It was a really good fight, really, really good fight. I was worried about that fight, thinking it could have opened up the card with a bit of a, shit fest. A lot of clinch work. And there was some clinch work, to be fair, but it was a really fun fight with a lot of action. So those are my thoughts on UFC 289's main card. Like, share, subscribe, all that horseshit, and check out my other videos.